Well, hello. Welcome to another edition of Something to Talk About. I'm going to start off the show by letting you all know that Vaughn is not with me here today because she's still doing her happy dance down in Waco with the win from the Baylor Bears and all. As you all know, and we've talked about it on this show, she has one graduate from Baylor and she's got two at Baylor right now. So it's been a happy household at the Loeck family home with the national win of the Baylor Bears. Congratulations to the Loeck family and to the Baylor Bears. Well, this morning, because she's busy, doing her happy dance and all, I've invited a good friend to join me as co-host this morning, Paul Hendricks from the Veterans Center of North Texas. Good morning, Paul.
Well, good morning, Stuart, and good morning, radio fans there. It's a real honor to be with you today.
Well, I'm glad to have you with us because, the veteran issues is always something that's been very near and dear to KVGI Media, to me personally, to you personally, because it's been your career, and all, but also to the general public and everything. Veterans Affairs is extremely important. We're getting a little bit of feedback. Maybe I'm not sure. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, Mark, but it may be from my end. But there you go. That much better. Veterans issues have been something that is not new to any of us. People that are watching this show and listening to the show, it's something that is a part of our everyday life. Our veterans are the people that we thank for our freedom. We thank them every day, and we memorialize them several times during the year. And Paul spent his career in the military, and now he's spending his retirement career, if you will, helping veterans. Paul, start off a little bit by sharing with the audience a little bit about your background in the military.
Well, again, thank you for this opportunity. So my background in the military somewhat is ho-hum, but somewhat exciting. So I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I went in the Air Force at the very end of the Vietnam era there. And my flying experience, I flew a good lot of my career, was in B-52Ds. And so I had not planned on it, but the way it worked out, I flew combat missions in Vietnam over North Vietnam, over Hanoi. And you might have heard about those missions almost 50 years ago now. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah.
So that was my real excitement in the Air Force, flying those kind of combat missions, and of course getting shot at and doing what we had to do to try to help bring that war to an end. And I think we did, and I think we contributed very handily for that. Following that, I continued to fly B-52s for a while. I got involved in the procurement and intelligence business. That was part of the Air Force activity. And then, lo and behold, the last 8 years of my career, I was involved in flying the B-1B bomber, which was a big thrill for me, obviously. I was involved in the development team at Edwards Air Force Base, and that was from 1982 to 1985 when the B-1 was getting resurrected and brought back online, which was very, very exciting. The Air Force opportunities at Edwards Air Force Base are just unbelievable. And then the last 5 years of that 8 years, I was involved at Dyess Air Force Base doing operational testing on the B-1 bomber. So I had my front end of my career was with B-52s, and then I worked in the intelligence and acquisition procurement type efforts. And then at the back end, the last 8 years, I worked on the B-1 bomber. And, 20 years blows by. It's hard to believe I spent 20 years there. It just blows right by.
Well, we certainly thank you for your service and your commitment to the military, because you carried that with you after you retired and all from the military and all. What was the urge that got you into continuing to help veterans and helping to set up the Veterans Center of North Texas?
Well, great question. Let me. I had a second career after the Air Force. I just like you to know this. So when I retired from the Air Force in 1990, I went to work for Rockwell and then later the Boeing Company. They merged, and I worked with them for 21 years. So I got
Wow.
20 years in the Air Force, 21 years at the Boeing Company, doing a variety of program management type activities. And then I finally retired from the Boeing Company in 2011. And that was to take me into final retirement. And what happened, Stuart, was something I hadn't planned on. The one thing I tell all people, when you go to retirement, you got to have a plan, just like anything else. And I really didn't have that plan. I just was going to kick back, and my kickback plan just wasn't satisfying to me. So one thing led to another. I got involved with a variety of veterans groups, and we observed a need. This is back in 2012, 2013, for some initiatives to support veterans, and that's how we really got started. A small group of us put a plan together. We did an assessment of what was going on in the community, and if you can remember in the 2012-13 timeframe, there was a lot of confusion with our veterans that were leaving the active duty military, how to get benefits, what services were available. The VA at that time did not have a great reputation. Some of it was justified, some of it was not. And there was a lot of political and social media turmoil, and we used that as an opportunity to provide what we thought was an outreach center for our veteran community. And we actually became a 501c3 in June of 2014. And we've been doing the same thing ever since. And it's been very, very enjoyable for us to service our veterans. Probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, as almost anybody would tell you, we are all volunteers at our organization, and helping another human being, independent of their age or their actual military background, lifting them up and helping them get stable in our community has just been so rewarding for each and every one of us. Now, again, we're all volunteers. So people say you can't be a volunteer and do that. Well, we've been doing it for 7 years. And without pay, just with the joy and love of helping other human beings that have military experience get connected and become productive in our communities.
And what I think a lot of people don't realize is that not only do we have a new generation of military personnel that are coming off of active duty following Iraq, Afghanistan, and those wars. Some of them come back just with traumatic issues. Some of them come back in pieces. They need the help and support of their fellow veterans and agencies like yours. At the same time, we've got the older generation like ours, the Vietnam veterans and the Korean veterans and those from Desert Storm and all that we still need to take care of. It's not that we're at a shortage of veterans. There are so many more veterans out there than we can even comprehend that need help. And it's a two-way street. They need to either reach out for somebody to say, I could use a little help, or it's us recognizing that they're there and trying to get them the help that they need. And your veteran center works both ways. They either come to you because maybe they just need a meal. They need a tank full of gas. There are others that, in post-COVID now, a lot of them, they need housing. They need to reintegrate back into society. Uh, there's lots of agencies out there, Paul, and what you do at the Veteran Center of North Texas is kind of regionalized. But I think that this is an issue that what you're doing and have been doing for the last 7 years is something that goes so far beyond our local community.
Yeah. So, Stuart, if I can comment there. So the Veteran Center North Texas serves 10 North Texas counties. So we are very broad. And those counties run over to Tarrant County, up to Denton County, over to Kaufman County, and then down to Dallas County, and then all the counties in between. There in the that region, the VA, who's our only source of information as far as veterans that they know about, there's over 300,000 veterans. And of course, we can't serve all of them, and we're not the only organization. But we are definitely have our hand out, not looking for help, but hand out trying to help veterans. Our number one issue that we experience here, which may sound strange, is getting veterans to know who we are and where we are. Um, there's lots and lots of help in the community. We're not the only show in town, and we recognize that. And we are happy to share resources and refer people back and forth, so our veterans can be geographically served and get the service in the right area. But the number one issue we have is just getting known. So it's not uncommon. A veteran will find us one way or the other. Word of mouth is really the most important thing, and that's what we're doing today. Someone will come visit us, and they'll say, "Why didn't I know you a couple years ago when I before I got into trouble?" And I don't know what to say about that. We're trying like crazy. We have plenty of resources. We are not limited in our resources. We're not limited in our hearts. I guarantee you that. It's just getting the resource, the people to know that we're here, and it's exactly our what we want to do. Now we serve those 10 counties. Each year we serve about 1,000 veterans a year out of our office. Our goal is to try to have satellite offices across those 10 counties, but that's a lot easier said than done.
Right.
Often we'll go out on a field trip. Somebody up in Denton County or Cook County, up near Gainesville or whatever, they might need help and they can't get here. And a lot of folks, all they have is a telephone. So we'll take a field trip, go up and put our hands on them. And even during COVID here, we've done field trips to help folks out. And we've been doing a lot of telephone interviews, internet interviews, some Zooms to let people know what we do and try to support them. Now, what we do is a couple interesting facts. So we talked about Desert Storm and Afghan and Iraqi activities. Those are alive and well. There's tons of veterans out there in that range. But we also have an older population that we serve. The average age of a client that we serve is age 57.
Wow.
And when we put our business model together, we had no idea that we were going to be serving anybody over age 35. We thought they would all be young folks with issues that you might imagine. But what we found on both sides of the age group there, 57 being the median, our older veterans are either unemployed or they're trying to retire, older yet, and they didn't have a plan and they don't have the resources. And the younger ones are searching for benefits and services, and some of them it's easy to connect with. Some of them we have to work very hard to get them the resources to sustain and go forward. I would say we have a 86%, as I remember, success rate, providing either referral or
That's
hands-on.
incredible.
Yeah, we're very pleased with that, Stuart.
Yeah, I think we should establish the fact that the Veterans Center of North Texas, and by the way, that's their website. the VCONT. So it's www.vcont.org. I urge you, with those that are watching and listening, jot that down. Share that with your family members. Share that with your neighbors who are veterans or no veterans that may just need a little bit of extra direction. The Veteran Center in North Texas is not a clinic. It's not a place for veterans to go for treatment and everything. But if there are veterans that need treatment, you can reach out to VCONT because they can put you in touch with the agencies that can help you. Now, that's what they are. They're a clearinghouse. You know, they'll ask you basic information and all, and then help find the things to satisfy the needs that you have. I know that you have a little computer lab set up there. So if a veteran wants to come in and research maybe some job opportunities that might be available, they can go in and sit down in front of a computer and they can start looking at some opportunities that may be available and have some of the folks that are in your office help them with that. One of the other key things that I have to make sure that this audience understands is Paul said it's 100% volunteer. Everybody that works there is a volunteer. They're not getting paid for this. They're doing it out of the love for veterans and helping veterans. And having said that, if you are a veteran and you can give a few hours a week to help out others that are in need, contact Paul and say, hey, listen, I can give you a half a day or so on Tuesdays and everything. Do you need some help? They always need some help. And if there's ever an opportunity for satellite offices, this is the best way to start, is by contacting Paul. Now, going back to something that's extremely important in this conversation, and that is, because they're 100% volunteer run, doesn't mean they got a bottomless pockets in order to run these programs. I believe you mentioned you're not federally funded, so it's out of the goodness of the hearts of the local people to make donations. You can do that right online at the website. You can donate if you would like, but you've got an event that's coming up that is really one of your major fundraisers for the entire year, and I want you to share that with the people that are watching and listening, Paul.
Absolutely. So, Stuart, we do not do fundraisers to make us go. We are grant funded, and I can discuss that here in a minute. But our one fundraiser or community integration activity that results in funding to support us is our annual golf tournament. Now, our golf tournament is come up here on the 30th of April, and I'll discuss that here in just a second. Uh, we use this as an opportunity to do two things. One, we try to integrate community leaders like you, Stuart, uh, with our veterans. So some of our veterans have never really had exposure to senior people in the community, decision makers, corporate leaders. And so we try to pair uh, our veterans with community leaders with the goal of a couple things. Number one, a veteran can go home to his wife or her husband and say, "I played golf with the CEO of J.C. Penney's or Toyota or a major corporation like that." And if you haven't had that experience, it just lifts you up and gives you that pride of, man, I really really am something. Um, and we what we do for our veterans, those that want to play golf and don't have the resources, we fund that ourselves. We scholarship that, and that works out really good. Uh, the What we have found is the golf tournament, in addition to being a fun event, being a great community integration event, and we get almost 100% people saying, "Wow, what a great experience." At the end of the day, after we pay all our bills, it does net us a profit, and that pays for our operations for the year. So it is very meaningful to us. The first element is the community integration, which is by far the most important thing, because we want to be sure that maybe a veteran will find a job They'll increase their self-esteem. They'll get a connection for, you never know where it's going to go. Networking, as you and I both know, Stuart, are extremely powerful. So that's really our number one goal. And then the number two goal, uh, byproduct of this great effort, is we do get funds out of this to support our operation. If we broke even, if we even took a loss and somebody got a job out of it, we would be happy as can be. So service is our number one goal. The rest of it is, we're not naive. We'd have to find another way, but we think this is just a wonderful event. Now, our golf tournament is going to be on the 30th of April. This is our fifth annual golf tournament. It's going to be at Heritage Ranch Golf and Country Club, which is located in Fairview. And it's going to be a tournament where it's a best ball. So people say, hey, I don't know how to play golf. That doesn't really matter. I bet you'd like to meet somebody and have a good time. We provide lunch. We provide a fun golf tournament. And then at the end, we have awards and a banquet and, all the standard cut-up type things. And people go home with bags of things that people have donated. There'll be raffle prizes that you don't have to pay for. If you're there, you're eligible to win any of them. And you walk home and you say, my God, I helped a veteran, or I found somebody in the community that I really would like to connect with in the future. And so I think it's, I hate to use this overused expression, win-win, but I think it is a win-win.
It is. And what Paul has been talking about, we're talking about an entry fee of $150. Now, I'm sure, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but Paul would be more than happy for you to just sit down and write a check for $150 to donate to the Veterans Center. But if you can invest $150 for a round of golf that includes meals, prizes, a banquet, and a great day, knowing that that entire day that you're spending out on the golf course is to help veterans. Grab 3 of your friends and sign up for a foursome and get out there and have a great time. If you know other veterans, they don't have to be veterans to play, but you want to play a round of golf for a benefit instead of just to play. This is a great opportunity. You have a max out at 144 golfers. And it's a shotgun start, which means everybody starts at the same time, so that you all can finish about the same time, to a great event at a phenomenal golf course. I did a little research on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful golf course. And the one thing that I want to stress too is Paul said that this is their major fundraiser of the year. The funds that they derive from this golf tournament is what helps them with their operations for the year. Well, what happened in 2020? It got blown out of the water because they couldn't have this golf tournament. So we're still playing a little bit of catch up. So not only do I want you who are listening and watching to support this golf tournament and support the Veterans Center, but also talk to your employer. If you work for a corporation, see if maybe they'd like to get involved with a corporate gift to the Veterans Center of North Texas to help the veterans in this area. And for those of you that live outside of North Texas and everything, this is something that you can do in your communities wherever you live, is to get together with your local veterans centers and saying, let's all get together and see what we can do to help. Keep in mind, it doesn't operate by itself. It takes people and it takes money to operate a veterans center. And you can do it through simple donations. You can do it by offering to volunteer, to help out a little bit once or twice a week, and all. But being involved in something like this event, how's the registration going so far, Paul?
Well, the registration is going fairly well. We're about 2/3 complete.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's good. We do need veterans to play. We have registration about 2/3 complete with people that have bought foursomes. Some of those foursomes are empty, and we're looking for veterans to play. And again, if you're a veteran that can need assistance, there's no charge. Stuart, can I discuss some of the prizes and things that are?
Absolutely. Hey, it's your tournament.
There you go. So we start out again. At 11 o'clock is showtime. At 11:30, lunch is served. So no one will go out with an empty stomach, and we'll have a lunch that's provided for them. At 1 o'clock, or 1300 for you folks that speak military, um, we have a putting contest. And of course, if someone gets the ball in the hole, Eureka, they get the prize. Otherwise, it's the closest to the hole. And we have a golf bag that we'll award for that, a brand new golf bag. And then we saddle up on the golf carts and get all the rules squared away, and out we go. We have three um, par threes out there where there's prizes available. We have a hole in one. And the winner of that, if they're ever so lucky, is a $10,000 cash. So we'd love to be able to give that away. And then there's a couple trips on the other holes that are available. So we would love to give those things away. So as the day progresses and comes to an end, people bring their golf carts back and their scorecards back, and the golf pro is racking and stacking and trying to find who had the best scores and so on. We have a longest drive, closest to the pin type activities there, and so there's prizes for that. Those are trophy prizes, as well as the top three teams. Now, you don't have to be a golfer to play. Some people will stack their team with ace golfers, and they have a tendency to win. But this is a fun. We've had people say, "Hey, what is this going to do to my handicap?" Well, it's not going to do anything because this isn't that kind of day. This is just a fun outing. But we get into the banquet, and we will call out the winners of all of the prizes. And then we have our raffle prizes, which I find kind of interesting. We have a $5,000 barbecue that's been donated to us, which is
Wow.
something to have, something to hold. And you better be ready to do some barbecuing with something like that. But we also have some other interesting things. We have an American flag that's been someone's put together for us, made out of wood. And it is splendid, worthwhile framing. We have some custom made portraits for us of golf scenes, which are available as raffle prizes. We also have some really unique things. We are partnered with the Military Heritage Museum that's up in Nevada, and they have donated to us a tank riding a tank. And you say, well, is that of interest? Let me tell you, I've done it. It is of interest. It is a real kick to be in that tank riding around in their area up there in Nevada. And for the kids, especially if they have kids, I took my grandson out there, and if I hadn't been able to pry him out, he'd still be there. And that's been over a year and a half ago. And then we also have this vintage activity that with the Military Heritage Museum. They have an arsenal of World War II weapons, machine guns, and things like that. And someone's going to get an opportunity to go out and shoot some of these high-powered weapons, under control, of course. And if you've never shot a machine gun, if you're ever interested in shooting a 50 caliber machine gun, this opportunity is right there for you. So we have several other prizes, but those are really things to think about, especially if you have kids or grandkids. How often can you go out riding in a tank or shoot a machine gun or uh,
Right.
what the heck? Who wouldn't want to do that?
Exactly. Paul, if somebody says, "Well, I don't play golf and all, but man, you sound like you got some really great raffle prizes." Can people still purchase raffle tickets for the raffle if they don't participate in the event?
Well, so Stuart, that's a great question. The way our tournament is set up, when you purchase, you pay your fees. It includes everything I've just discussed. So
Oh,
our,
okay.
so we do a lot of golf tournaments. we'll say, okay, you want to buy a mulligan, or you want to buy things as you go through, or we're going to have raffle tickets or auctions and so on. We don't do that. You pay your money, and unless you're going to buy
All
a drink,
included.
you're out there. Some people say, I'm just tired of this nickel and diming it. We don't do that.
Now, I'm going to ask you another question here. If someone again doesn't play golf, is there a connection that you have that if I want to donate $150 and all, you can have my entry fee, you can match that up with a veteran that would like to play a round of golf because maybe he can't afford to do it out of his own pocket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if someone does that, we'll give them some raffle tickets also. But yes, and we would love to have that opportunity. We call those sponsored veterans. We would love to have that opportunity to have those resources because that gets more and more veterans on the course. Our goal is to have 50% veterans, 50% uh, civilian, corporate type folks, and we're headed that direction, but we're not there yet. So, Stuart, that's a great request.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity again because get a couple of corporations out there that are listening. Again, ask your boss. Say, hey, listen, I know you play golf, boss. How about you and the three of your friends get a foursome and go out there and play in this tournament? I think that it's a great opportunity if you get some corporate players, you get some military players, you get some civilian players, and now they all get to interact at that banquet afterwards, and they start to share experiences and all. It's a great, like you said, it is a win-win all the way around, and it's just a phenomenal opportunity for people to do something that ultimately is going to be able to help more veterans with their needs and concerns too.
Absolutely. So one of the benefits that we get out of this is that networking exposure. More people will know about us. That gives us more opportunities to serve people. If they come to us from a corporation, they can carry the word back of, man, those guys are doing great things. And what that does for us, it helps us a lot because a lot of corporations have jobs. Jobs are a huge thing for our veterans. And so we can build relationships, refer people, refer our veterans to the corporations, and hopefully help them and assist them to find a better paying job if they already have one, or a job if they don't have one. And we have a ton of unemployed veterans right now.
Yeah, so you're right. It's just a great networking opportunity right there too. Well, I'm going to throw a challenge out, and that is, we've got several a veteran of foreign war posts that are in the area. You got a lot of American Legion posts that are in the area. You've got, I know the Frisco Lakes has got their veterans club. Some of the other retirement communities have their veterans club. Let's all get together foursomes and go out there and challenge each other. Maybe there'll be a little side betting on the side, the VFW against the American Legion. We'll turn our head the other way if you want to do a little bit of that. But let's fill this bill up. 144 is the limit. You're already 2/3 of the way there, so the field is going to be full very, very soon. Hopefully, right after this show. So if you're listening and you play golf, or you know some folks that play golf, say this is a great opportunity. Again, I'm really impressed, Paul, with the value that somebody's going to get for a $150 donation. It's a day full of value for them, fun interaction, and all to benefit the veterans. That's the best part of it.
Well, we think it is good value. $150 is not chump change, but we think you get a lot for it. Helping a veteran, because all the money goes back to our veterans. Going home with a full tummy, because we're going to have food is great, and then maybe going home with that tank ride or the weapon shoot or one of the other
Or how
wonderful.
about 10 grand for hitting a hole in one?
We'd love to give that away. That would be. That would just be exciting, and that would bring tears to your eyes, wouldn't it?
It sure would, and I would only hope and pray that it's a veteran that gets it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's make that happen. And we had 144 people out there. That's 144 tries of that hole in one. And you would think one of those people would just plonk it right in there.
And I got to tell you, you probably have a better chance of winning $10,000 by getting a hole in one on that golf tournament than you do by buying a lottery ticket. And hey, you'll also get to meet Paul Hendricks, who that in itself is worth the entry fee just to spend a day with you, my friend.
Oh, what a compliment. Stuart, you make me feel good. Thank you.
Well, I have told you that I'm trying to get my schedule organized so that I can get over to the Veteran Center and donate a little of my time because I've got a gift of gab, and I'd love to be able to talk to veterans and help them make their lives better, and also maybe reach out to the corporate communities and saying, hey, you guys have got a successful business. How about sharing a little piece of that with the Veteran Center to help them with the mission that they have? Because you're not in the business of just handing out money to veterans in need. You're out really, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I know your mission is to help them create a better life for themselves, to get the answers to the questions that they have. And where else can a veteran go but to a veterans organization where when they walk in the door, they're already a friend and all, and just say, okay, you're in need. How can we help you?
Well, let me comment on that, Stuart. A lot of times veterans will walk in and they're upset, just upset because they have knocked on lots and lots of doors and they just haven't been able to get traction. Uh, I can guarantee you, um, first off, they're going to come in. Everybody here, for the most part anyway, is a veteran. We love to tell war stories and we love to listen to war stories. And we have seen so many veterans here. It's very difficult to find a new situation. Now, what we try to do is we try to understand what the veteran and their family believe they need. And we have a pretty good track record of satisfying those needs. As I mentioned, we're about 86% success rate in helping veterans in that regard. But what we work on is not the need, but the cause. So someone can't pay their rent for some reason. We understand that. We don't want anybody getting evicted or going through that mess. But what we do want to find out is how come you can't pay the rent? And is it a job? Are you COVID impacted? What's going on in your life? Have you made some poor decisions? Has luck just not been with you? So we'll work on those root causes, as we call it. Sometimes we can provide direct assistance to ourselves here. Sometimes we provide a handoff to one of our partners in the community. We have over 170 partners that we work with.
Hmm,
We'll,
that's great.
yeah, networking is so powerful. If we know somebody needs something that we can't help directly, we know somebody in the community that can help them, and that keeps our satisfaction rate up. The other thing, which I think is really important, is we're not a one and done. We're not a one and done agency, and there's a bunch of folks out there that are happy to pay a $100 water bill and say, "Now get out of here." We don't do that. Again, we work on the root cause. We may work with that veteran and their family for 4 to 6 months, helping them get reestablished. It may be multiple payments if that's what's required. But we try to hold their hand uh, very tightly until things get situated and they finally say, "I've got it." And we say, "Wonderful. Go forth and conquer." And so we pride ourselves in that long term connection. Once they finally leave, 30 days after they're gone, we contact them again. And then 6 months after they're gone, we contact them again. How you doing? And if they say, "We are so happy, I've got that job, we know how to balance our checkbook now," and that sort of thing, we're happy. If they say, "Well, this isn't working out, I didn't want to call you because, you have so much faith in us," and say, "Well, that's why we're here. Let's get together. Let's talk. You can't go bad as long as you're following the plan. We'll help you advise and work, and hold your hand and go forward. Our goal here is one thing and one thing only: community stability.
Paul, it is absolutely amazing to me the work that you and your organization have done in the 7 years that you've been around. I mean, we got veterans that have been around for decades and all, and your organization's 7 years old, and you have done this incredible work in our community. But it isn't a matter of sitting back and saying, "Okay, yeah, we've done a good job, so good for us," pat on the back. You know, you're always moving forward, and if you can help a veteran, that veteran is going to pay it forward. That veteran is going to want to help reach out to other veterans and say, you call Paul Hendricks and his folks over there at the Veterans Center. That's, like you said, word of mouth. It's talking to people and getting people involved. It's getting business people to talk one to one and saying, you know what, we've been investing in this veteran center. I think it's a good opportunity for you too. If you're part of a Rotary Club or a Chamber of Commerce or so, and you think, you know what, this guy's got a great organization, maybe give Paul a call, and he or one of his staff members will come over and address your group and tell you a little bit about what the Veterans Center is all about. It's people helping people, and it's veterans helping veterans, but it's also civilians helping veterans. And that's a very, very important aspect of it. And what better way can you do that than getting out on a golf course and helping veterans by having a great day playing a great round of golf? The phone number is 214-600-2966, but go to www.vcont.org. VCONT.org, and you can get all the information about what we've been talking about. And you can get in touch with Paul and say, hey, Paul, I know somebody that I think would like to invest in your organization, and I would like to talk to you more about it. I could tell you, fancy you won't see. When you walk into their offices, you're not going to be met with fancy architecture and stuff. This is bare bones stuff, because what they care about is the fancy results rather than just the fancy surroundings. I think that's fair to say, isn't it, Paul?
No, absolutely, absolutely. So most everything we have um, has been donated. So you're right. You won't find two chairs that look alike because that's the way they are. Um, Stuart, I just want to piggyback on something you said. We really want to be not the best kept secret. We want people to know us. And so if there's an opportunity for us to come, I mean, the Veteran Center of North Texas, come speak to any kind of group, whether it's a corporation or it's a community service group like Rotary or Kiwanis or any of the great
Right.
groups, we would love that opportunity. And we're never asking for money. We're always asking for the opportunity to serve.
Well, I'm going to be so bold to say I'm asking for money. The people that are watching this program and everything, I'm asking for money. You don't play golf. You can't pony up $150 to send somebody else out on that golf course. Go to the website, click that donate button, and $10. If you think that what Paul and his staff are doing for our veterans is worth it, donate $10, because if there's 100 other people that do the same thing, they start raising the money that they need to keep their operation going. And as Paul said earlier, if he helps a veteran out, they don't just give them a gas card and say, thanks, see you later. They want to follow up with them, make sure. And if they have to help support this veteran to get him on his feet for 6 months, that takes money. And that takes money from you and me and all the people that are watching and listening to this program. That's what's important about it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate those words. That's just exactly right.
Well, Paul, this is last call for the golf tournament. Get out there, get some of your friends together, go out for a great day. This is a great time of the year too, because the weather should be absolutely perfect for a round of golf, and it's for the benefit of the Veterans Center of North Texas. And all, Paul Hendricks and his staff, thank you for your service and for all that you do.
Thank you, Stuart. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, that'll do it for another edition of Something to Talk About. We'll see you again right here next week at the same time, same place. Make it a good week, make it a good weekend. Paul, the very best. Thanks again, and we'll catch up to you next time.
Thank you.